Good morning. Hello there. Happy Monday. Cool, it's fresh today. What about where you are? Nice but cold. Yeah, the seasons are turning, aren't they? The seasons are certainly turning. Come on in. Nice to have your company. Dressing for comfort today. Look, 100% me. Do you like it? Yeah. 100% me. All of me. Come on in. Morning. Good to have your company. Always a relief when I see something fluttering. People fluttering in with their tea and their coffee. God, we're still on those ducks. Last day today, though. It's only because of the lavender fields. It doesn't matter what we do as long as we hang out together. Nice and sunny in St Ives. Yeah, it's a nice sunny day here too. It just is a little bit fresh. But we don't mind fresh. Be nice for a walk. Dress up, you know. Nice for a walk. How are you? Hey? How was your weekend? Good. Anxiety levels are going through the roof again in different places, aren't they? I was talking to Linda Williams, yesterday. They're in Wales. They've gone into total lockdown again today. And she was telling me, she's not very good at this online shopping lark. She said, if you need any washing machine capsules, I'm your man. Apparently, she bought 12 huge boxes of them. She says, I got enough to last me all my days. Yeah, let's not panic. Let's not panic. Let's just stay calm, eh? It's them, it's not us. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. Got to turn it round. Turn it round. Don't panic. Don't worry. It won't serve any purpose. We've had this. Do you remember when we got together in April? Why are we even here? The reason that we're here is because we were frightened and we wanted to keep each other company, right? Nothing's changed. Except we don't need to be so frightened because we know the score now. Now we move from fear into acceptance. That's what I'm trying to work out now. Now it's an acceptance around the fact that this is not going away anytime soon. I'm not going to say ever, because that would be pretty permanent. Let's say it's going to be hanging around for a little while. Should we put it that way? See, the truth is, it's how you say things, isn't it? In German we say, der Ton macht die Musik. You know, it's the tone that makes the music. And it's how you word things. You can word things to comfort people, and you can say that you can give the same message and you can frighten them, you know. And I think we're intelligent and bright enough to know what's really going on, you know. Not that we know what's really, really going on, but in my world, I know I just got to stay safe, abide by the rules, listen to suggestions, wash my hands every 20 seconds for 20 seconds, you know, all that good stuff. We had a smashing day on Saturday. A few of us, literally a handful of us. We had a pottery day, a raku day. It was fabulous, really parky. Sue, if you're there, good morning. Sue is my friend from pottery. She does those amazing sculptures, just gorgeous. Every single one came out. Another masterpiece, another masterpiece. In the meantime, the rest of us shit brown, rubbish. Well, there you go, you see. Practice, practice, practice. I love it. I love it. Come on in. You love me jumper? Yeah, I love my jumper too. It's big. 10 o'clock. Good morning. Welcome to the SHAC. Safe, happy and creative. Stay home and craft. And aren't we glad that we didn't give up on the SHAC when we thought that everything was going to go back to normal? No normal here. But it's okay. It's okay, isn't it? One day at a time. Do you remember? I got a bit despondent last week, so I thought, oh no, here we go again. However, I've kind of been teaching myself to get some acceptance around it, you know, around this whole COVID-19 crisis. I'm not looking at Christmas. It's way too far away to worry about. Just dealing with today. And today, we're doing the ducks. All right? So come on in, grab a seat, get your tea, get your coffee, and then we'll finish those lovely lavender fields. They're glorious. Some of your work, the work that I've seen on Facebook, absolutely beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So let's have a look where we're going. There we are, what I'm working with. Okay, come on. Come on. Let's just sort out this hour. That's all we got to do, this hour. 1 hour at a time, morning, then the afternoon. I had a brilliant weekend because all I did was deal with what was in front of me, you know? I find that's a lot easier. It's a lot easier. And the days just roll on. 1 day at a time. Hey? 1 day at a time. Where's my sticker? I ought to put my sticker in the corner. Hang on. This one's the one with 1 day at a time in. Glass half full. The time is now. Da 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 da. 1 day at a time. I knew it was there. I think it stands out better, believe it or not, in black. Hang on. There it is. 1 day at a time. First one. Oh, and we'll leave that one hanging there as well. Be kind. Because that's another thing that's really actually does get on my pip, is the levels of selfishness that I'm seeing around are quite amazing, aren't they? However, I'm trying to be kind. It works for me. I can't control others. I can only control myself. There we are. 1 day at a time. Be kind. Nice, eh? Okay, are we ready to do these ducks? Because this is where we're headed. Let's have a look on camera 3, please. Right, so we ended on Friday, we ended on the Yellow Hills, didn't we? Because we were working our way down and we'd done our, our green pretzels. They look great. I loved your green pretzels. Right, and now we've learned how to make these beautiful little fruit trees. And now we're going to go to the lavender. So let's do the lavender and the Yellow Hills, this part of the picture. Okay, let's do that. Let's start with this yellow hill and then we'll work our way down to the bottom. Have you done your hedgerows? Have you done your hedgerows? We can do them. They don't take long. They don't take long at all. Okay. And I'm going to work on this one. And I'm using I am using my polychromos today. And I need a pencil sharpener just in case. And I've got to make sure I've got the right glasses on. Oh, it's a chore, isn't it? Right, you ready? Crikey, they're dirty. Okay, let's try these ones. Oh, that's better. These are absolutely disgusting. Ah, that's terrible. I'll have to take them in the house. I've been doing artwork. Yesterday, I was working up here all day nearly, apart from my little cook-off in the morning. I cooked ahead for the week. I tell you, I've been right 1 hour at a time, you see, that's how it works. I find I get a lot more energy if I do it that way. And yesterday I was doing artwork in preparation for the TV this week, because we've got Pergamano on Thursday, and then I've got my 2 to 4 show on Sunday, the usual one. And then I've also got, 6 o'clock in the evening with Paul. Yeah, I know, busy. Got to keep going. Got to keep going. People say, you got to slow down. I know. I would if I could. But, you know, there's something to be said about staying busy as well. I've just knocked the top off my pencil. Let me just sharpen it. While I'm sharpening my important pencil, that I just knocked the nib off, let me tell you which ones we're going for. Okay, so Lucy, lovely Lucy, is in the SHAC chat with you today. So if you have any questions, Lucy's your lady. And also, actually, Lucy, I'll tell you now, because thinking ahead to Wednesday when we gather together again, So we're doing Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, right? And today will be the last day on the Dirks, and Wednesday we're going to start the doodle sessions, right? And they may roll into next week, because remember we said we're doing every other day now. So we're not going to go twice as fast, but we've still got the same. So it might just roll into the other weeks. Doesn't matter, does it? Hey, doesn't matter. It's not a class plan, is it? So what we need though for Wednesday is this. I thought if I show you now, do you remember this download? Do you remember this one? We used it when we were making the baubles, and it's a digi download. Lucy designed it, so she'll be able to find it for you easily, but we're going to be using this. We need this thing. This will make our lives a whole lot easier. So if you can download this, then please do. If you can't download but you want it, then the trick is to private email Lucy. She's got a Clarity email address. Just private email her and then we'll send it to you. It's no problem, you know. Well worth having. If you can print it off, happy days. If you can't, then ask Lucy and we'll get that sent out to you. Our pleasure. Right, I think I've done that again now. Okay, come on then. Let's have a look at these. Are you ready to start? Let's have a look at these. This hill here, the yellow one in the background. You see? So we're just going to pick out the yellow, and I want to use, this one is Strohgelb, cream, the cream colour. This is from that set of 12. If you're using the pergoliners, then use a yellow of your choice. Use the yellow. Where's the yellow one? Let's have a look. The B8. This one, B8, the blending one. And then what you could do is use B8 really lightly, and then in a minute when I go in with the ochre one, then you should try going in with like this one of these ones. Well, I've got two there. A18 or A19, one of those water ones will do. That's the right colour to tone it down. Yeah? We're going to use this cream one from that set of 12, and then I'm going in with my favourite, my warm grey number 2, please. Right, so let's just relax into this, shall we? Come on. Let's just chill. It's going to be okay. You just got to keep the faith. There you go. There you go. Just figure out where the yellow field is. This hill, it runs right behind the duck, runs behind the trees. There we are. And then we'll just lay down a really light colour of this creamy Strohgelb. Straw yellow, that means, translated, and the English call it cream. 102. 102. I'll try and remember to always say the number as well. Right, here we go. Light circular motions. There we are. There. So it comes up like that, down like that, and then it's round the back here as well. I think it's a good idea just to get familiar with where the trees are, where the fields are. That'll do. Right, now we can see it better, can't we? In fact, now I say that, let's come in a little bit closer, shall we? Cool. Do you know what is funny? As soon as I start colouring in, I don't know if it works for you like this, but as soon as I start colouring in, I chill. It's like my voice drops, my shoulders relax, my head stops going. I'm not really worried about the COVID thing. Well, I am, don't get me wrong, I am, but I'm not panicking about that. It's the knock-on effect of it all, isn't it, with business and work and bills and mortgages. It's all that, apart from anything else. That's what worries a lot of us, I think. It's just the practical ramifications, isn't it? The fallout, you know. That's that and looking after your mum and dad, you know, it all starts to add up, doesn't it, in the end? There you go. But that's what I'm saying is, as soon as I start colouring, all that just disappears. I'm more focused on the hills, the yellow hills, and it's the same when I go. Sometimes when you go for a walk, do you ever go for a walk and then you got halfway round and you think, I haven't even seen a damn thing because all I've been doing, I took everybody from work with me, you know, or you just, it's sometimes, a couple of times recently, we do a circuit in the woods, right? And we get all the way round and then I say, Dave, do you know what, we got to go again. I didn't see a blinking thing because all we did was talk work. And then we go, he says, all right, then come on, then let me go again. And I said, right, but we're leaving everybody from work, all things to do with clarity, we're leaving them here at this stile, right? And we'll pick it back up again when we've gone all the way around, we've done our circuit, when we get back, they will still be waiting for us, they won't have gone anywhere, and then we'll take them home with us again, okay? And we do. I know, he just humours me. We go all the way around again, another hour. And there's a lot more silence the second time round because we know not to talk about work. But in the silence is the harmony, is the peace, you know. So sometimes silence is golden, as they say, eh? The only thing is, if I go silent here, everybody thinks the sound's gone. Right, now, so we've done an undercoat. That's better. You can see it better now, can't you? Hey? So now we'll go in again. And this time we're going to go with dark cadmium yellow. This is from the big tin. Or you can go in with one of the peachy colours from the pergoliners, or one of the brownie colours. You decide. I'm going with the yellow just over the top. Just a light, just going over the top again, the whole thing, just blending the two colours. Not so dark, not pressing hard, just loading up the colours. Okay, just load them up. The lightness underneath makes a difference. I tried it with and I tried it without, and I definitely recommend the cream underneath. Here we go. So just put a little bit, this is easy, isn't it? I thought, Monday, we've got to keep it simple. Hey, let's do that. Let's do that thing. Right, because in a minute, we're going to bring that yellow down through the fields, okay? Gorgeous time of year, isn't it? Come on, let's just go for it. Let's put this one in now. This one. Let's go with the yellow through here. Don't press too hard. Like circular motions. You know, like we've learnt this now, not to press too hard with these blending pencils, the polychromos or the pergoliners, because if you press too hard, it creates a seal, you know, like a, doesn't it? And then when you go to add another colour, it won't take it because you've kind of closed it off. It's like a burnish, isn't it? Right, here we go. So just add a lovely colour like that. Having done a week now of every other day, I've got to say I don't think that was a daft idea. Don't you find? Let's get a bit of yellow in here. Now what I've got to do now is just sharpen my pencil a little bit without trashing it. Slowly does it. Slowly, slowly. Every other day definitely works better, doesn't it? I need to sharpen it a bit more. I definitely think that was a smart move. Especially because, like I said, you know, it gives a lot of you, I've been reading the messages, a lot of you saying, yeah, it gives me a chance to catch up and keep up. There are people that had abandoned it because we were going too fast or too often. And now they're joining in again, which I think is great. Come on in. Right, we're just going through this hedgerow with a little bit of the ochre. Is it ochre? Number 108. Oh no, it's not. It's cadmium yellow. Sorry, my bad. There you go. Chill time, eh? That's it. That'll do. Right, now, let's get that in there. Right, the trees, I haven't done the trees on this one, but you probably have, haven't you? Let's go like that. Right, okay. So we've got the yellow in. Cool. Right, pretend the trees are in as well. Let's see. Cool. So what we're going to do now is throw shadows. But with the yellow, what we want to do is throw shadows along, let's just go sweepy, like sweep along this edge here. Because these are tracks. These lines are tracks along there, right? There you go. And sometimes they're like proper little paths, aren't they? Like here, these are like lavender beds. And they, from a distance, it looks like a whole field. But when you look closely, there are paths in between. Yeah. But then sometimes, like in fields of crops, there are tracks. But they're more for the machines than for people. You know, when the irrigation and they're measured out exactly so that the wheels run in between and don't run straight across the crops. So there'll always be a little bit of depth along here. If you look at a field, you'll always see there's lines, and those lines are like tram lines. I think that's even what they're called, actually. They're tram lines, and they are for the wheels on the pesticide. You know, like if they're, well, I say crop dusting, the American term, but you know what I mean, or if they're irrigating or even cutting, I imagine, when they're actually harvesting. So they put these lines in. Dave's a farmer, so that's how I get to hear all about it, you see. That's why I was city girl here, I would never have noticed that there were, I'd just see them and not register them, you know. But when you're married to a farmer, or a retired farmer, or, you know, who comes from a long line of farmers, he doesn't miss much, you know. He doesn't miss much. It's quite fascinating. He doesn't miss much. We'll be going through the woods, and then he'll say, and then he turns around. Last week we were in the woods, right, and we were walking along, and he went, look at this. And I'd already gone past it. I don't know how I missed it. City eyes, country eyes, right? Head not where I am, head somewhere else. That's the truth of it. My head wasn't with me. My head was somewhere else, okay? And he said, look, Barb. And I turned around, and there were those beautiful toadstools, you know, the big red ones with the white that we drew the other, yeah? There they were, loads of them. How I didn't see them, oblivious. I drive like that as well. Oh, do you sometimes get somewhere and then you think, how did I get here? I tell you what, I don't know, is it just me? Now let's have a look. So for example here, now we want to, I'm going to take a darker colour. This is maybe a little bit darker than I would use. Let's start with a lighter, darker colour. Let's try this one, raw umber. That's more like it. Yeah, raw umber. So what we're going to do now is we're going to throw a shadow from the tree. See here? We're just going to throw a shadow. Let's pretend we've done the tree. Tree's already been done, but the shadow's coming. There's going to be a shadow here, isn't there? Look, sun coming down makes a shadow. Yeah? So this under here isn't going to be light. It's going to be dark from the tree. That's what I think anyway. See, and then the tree, it's got a little bit going up there as well. There you go. This only looks a bit ropey because we haven't actually coloured in the tree. But that's the bottom line, right? There you go. Bit of shadow. Just lightly, lightly, lightly. There we are. And under here as well. Bit of shadow. Take a darker one, right? And then just get a bit of a flick going. Here we go. Right. Flick. There, see? So you go up the side of the tree and you can get a really good shadow going. Like that. There you go. See? So it's starting to get some depth, and then along the tram lines, let's just add a bit of depth. That's it. just a little bit of depth along there with that darker colour. Really, really lightly, okay? Just a tiny little bit, just along the top of that. There you go. That's it. Because in a minute I'm going in with my favourite colour. That'll change it. So let's have a look now what happens when we add that beigey colour, that warm grey numero dos. Yeah? That's it. Warm grey numero dos. This is the one. Right, warm grey number 2, 271. We sell these individually, you know. If you don't want to get, if you just think, God, could do with that one, then buy it. Get it. I chopped through this one. It just tones everything down. So look at that yellow, and now look at that yellow there. See? I'm going to come right down now, and then we'll start on the lavender. But I'm going to add some shadow now. You watch. As you come over the top of the yellow, it changes it. It just tones it all down. It looks, I don't know, so cool. Look. As soon as you bring in a layer of that grey over the top, warm grey 2, it takes it out from, what's that bit there? Is that a part of his tail or? Oh, turbo duck. Looks like he's letting off some exhaust. Let me have a think for a minute. What could that be? Oh, no, it's not a part of the tree. I reckon it's part of the duck. We'll leave it out. We'll leave it where it is. There we go. See? So let's put a bit of depth. See, and then if you just go in a little bit more, this gives you such a smashing shadow. Look, 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 look. So you can go lightly, and you can go press a bit harder. See how it changes the yellow, look. There you go. Just, I won't say dirties it up, but it just tones it down. Tones it down sounds better than dirties it up. Right, here we go. And the same on these hills as well, on these fields. See how it changes it? It takes out that yellowness. Mind you, if you go past a field of rapeseed at the right time of year, what a brightness that is, eh? What a yellow. There's a great big rapeseed field on the way into Edenbridge when we go to work. Oh, it's just amazing. Really, really bright yellow. And then it's gone. How does the seasons change? There you go. See how it tones it down? And then we'll just come along this, I'm coming along that edge there of that tram line. Here we go. See, this is a good learning curve, this one, because in a minute we're going to make the tram lines in here. So we might as well get it going on a real neutral colour, because the lilacs and the lavender colours are a little less forgiving. There. That looks good, doesn't it? If you want to add a bit more brown, then just keep going. That's it. See how it changes, that gives it depth, doesn't it? That'll do. Because in a minute we're going to fanny about so long in the yellow cornfields as we're still not going to get to the lavender. It's all right. It's all right. I know. I've got a clock. Keep smiling. Come on. Keep smiling. Smile. It's very difficult to be miserable when you're smiling, isn't it? You know, sometimes sometimes, you know, people think you're clowning around all the time. It means that you're not taking the situation seriously. But I think that often clowning around is a really, really good defense mechanism, isn't it? You know, it's one of mine. It's one of mine. It's one of Tina Cox's, for sure. You know, it's just putting a funny, humorous spin on things. If you don't laugh, you'll cry, right? So let's keep smiling. So now let's have a look. What we want to do is take a look at the lavender. So I would say the first thing we want to do is use, let's look at these colours here. I've got purple violet and Delft blue. Now the Delft blue is what we used in the wings of the ducks in the drakes, didn't we? And purple violet is also in that big tin of 60 that we've got. So, and you've got a nice purple in the, you've got a nice one in here as well. Bit more fuchsia-y. But listen, lavender comes in all sorts of colours and different hybrids now, doesn't it? Try and keep it sort of to whatever colour you used in the wings. That's the answer here. So what we're going to do now is just come along this edge with the lighter of the two. If you've only got one, then just don't press so hard, okay? But first of all, we've got to decide, it's the fatter, it's the beds are the fatter, and the little, they're the paths. So let's just establish first what's a path and what's a, right, and I'm going to turn it round because I want the shadow. Right, so I'm going to go along here because this is going to be the darkest bit. So along here, there we go. Let's just get that shadow in so we know which, that's the thing when you do stripy things, often you get so caught up, you jump across and then you're colouring in the wrong bit. So let's just get that shadow in there, like that. It's a building game, this one. Okay. I need to lean on something, don't I? Lean on me. I think the thing about this lockdown as well, you know, is for us sort of creatives, this is an opportunity. You've got to look at it as an opportunity, you know. This is an opportunity to hone your skills, to use your time creatively, you know. So whatever it is that is your passion or what you've been thinking, oh, I'd love to do, I'd love to, like loads of you've really enjoyed the colouring process, you know, this whole colouring in and getting good at it. There you go, so that's the first one. And we'll jump across, just do the lower edge on each of them. So then that's a little path. Actually, let's do this one. Yeah, use the time, I suppose, eh? Use the time to do stuff that you normally never have time to do, because you never are sitting still long enough, you know. Do you know, in March I said I'm gonna teach myself to do. I had no idea what was coming, and I said, right, I'm going to take the opportunity to do the lino cutting that I've always. That box of lino cutting, the box and all the gear, no idea, right? I thought I'll work this one out. It's still sitting. I can see it from here. It's a box with all the gear in it, and it hasn't moved from the end of this counter. Since March, because I kept saying I'm going to get to that, I'm going to get to that, I'm going to get to that, and I'm still saying it, I'm going to get to that. So that's why it's still there. The day I put it away means I'm not going to get to it, but I've got all the gear. Mad, isn't it? And so maybe now it's time to get it out of the box and have a look at it. The trouble is, and I'm not complaining, I'm very grateful, but we're so busy. Well, we would be, there's only half of us left at work, you know. So there's so much to do. It's like lino cutting sort of got relegated, you know. Just, Yeah, and sort of went down the charts, that one. Because whenever if I was to go and do the lino cutting, my little head would say, well, hang on a minute, you've got a TV show next week. What are you thinking of? It's bad enough, my head says, that you go to pottery once a week, Gray. And I think, well, there you are then. Get over it, because I am. That's the one thing that I do want to do. And in a minute, we'll probably be not allowed to go anymore, Sue. But the good news is, I'm not saying I saw this coming, but I've got a wheel downstairs in the garage now. It's still in the wrapping. It hasn't been unwrapped yet. I've got a kiln coming. Yeah. Dave built me a little studio. He's building me a little studio downstairs. Or he's cordoned off a part of the garage. So I've got a little studio. It's even got a window in it. Woohoo! Yeah. Hang on, am I going the right way here? Yes. Yeah. So, bring it on. That's what I said. I reckon I want to do what I love doing. So, I'm going to use, should we go into lockdown again? I don't know. I'll use the time. Because the telly's just getting on my pip. And I think I'm sitting here watching this dross when I could be being creative. I could be doing something, you see? But the trouble is, for me, it's mostly this sort of stuff. It's all work, isn't it? There you go. It's work. So pottery's not work. But I didn't have a... Hang on, that doesn't look like a... That's a... See, because you're not listening to your hand, Grace. This isn't... Look, it needs a path. This is a big path. That's a green one. See? Look, green. And then that's a little purple one there. That works. Now, you could always put another one in, couldn't you? You could always put a path in there. If you know what I mean. Nah, I'm just going to leave it as it is. Okay. Right, so now we've established which ones are the lavenders, haven't we? Okay. That's helpful. Right, we're going to go again. Right, you ready? So what we'll do is we'll go from the... We'll go out like that. Flick, flick, flick. Because we want to get that feeling of depth, don't we? Like bushiness. So let's just get a bit more. It takes a little while to build up the layers, doesn't it? But you want it light on top, don't you? And dark at the bottom, right? So let's just go through here again like that. Flick, 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 like that. Right, flick, 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 flick. Nice. Okay. Now, can you go really, really lightly upwards? So it's really, really light, really, really lightly like that. Look, so that it's almost, look, so it's dark at the bottom and light at the top. Can you do that? Like that, really dark at the bottom and then light at the top. Dark at the bottom and then up it goes to nothing. If you find that it's looking a little bit samey all the way up, then just take your eraser and knock out the top bit again. Just knock it out. We can do that. That's no problem, is it? Right, that looks good. So we'll do the same along here. So let's just get this bit a bit darker again. We're still using that lighter colour though. Lavender fields. I remember being in France. I lived in Bordeaux for a little while. And I can remember spending the day in lavender fields. And apart from the gorgeous colour, It was the smell. It was so heady, you know. It was just amazing. Yeah, beautiful. I was with a load of people. They were doing, they had gliders, like hang gliders. And the airfield, if you like, that they were using was in these lavender fields, hidden, not hidden, you know, not illegally, but there was this air strip in with all these lavender fields. And I mean, I wasn't doing the flying, I was just watching. But, God, just the smell, unbelievable. And I've always liked lavender. It's good for your, it's good to relax to and to sleep, isn't it? Bit of lavender on your pillow, eh? Apparently, well, what am I saying apparently? I know it to be true, because I always spray or sprinkle a little bit of lavender on the bed. It's lovely. English lavender. Can't beat it. There you go. Who likes lavender? Who likes the smell of lavender? I can't imagine you wouldn't. Who wouldn't like the smell of lavender? Hey? It's lovely. Right, so we've got a light colour. Is it starting to work yet? Yeah? Works, doesn't it? See, now you've got a bit more, so you can come up a bit more. Just add in that colour. Is it working yet with your lavender? Takes time, doesn't it? Okay. Okie dokie. Right, let's have a look. Right, you ready? Here we go. Right, so we're going to go along now. Up we go. So you venture up. This is what gives it the depth. A little along top, along the bottom. Just gives it a beautiful texture. Still using the light one. Purple Violet 136. It's just a suggestion. There are no experts in this building. Oh, I haven't said that for a while. There are no experts in this building, guys. Hey? Just a bunch of people hanging out together. Keeping each other company. Staying safe, happy and creative. There you go. What else do you want? Every other day for an hour. And you get to know each other, don't you? Hey? You get to look out for each other. You get to know each other. You know, I was saying to Dave when we were, you know, we talk a lot. I said, the thing is, we're not supposed to know all this stuff. This instant news worldwide, you know, so it's, I don't know, it wasn't that long ago. You only knew about your neighbour and what was going on in your village or in your street, you know. You didn't know what was going on in another part of the world. Certainly not instantly. You know, now it's like instant. Fire in Napa Valley. So, oh no, Mark's there. You know, Mark went to Napa with his girlfriend. He lives there, up the road in San Francisco. See, I'm not supposed to know all that. I'm miles away. I'm thousands of miles away. And I think we soak it all up and we soak it all up and we soak all up the news. And I don't think human beings are supposed to know all that all over the world. And I think, you know, and opinions are like noses, everyone's got one, this is only mine. I think that because we're getting bombarded with news from all over the world, you know, such distressing stuff. I mean, the bombings in Yemen, and oh my God, and I look at it and my heart, and it's so graphic, and I think, oh, and then it makes you feel like you don't know you're born. You're lucky to be alive because you're not in a village in the mountains near Yemen, in Yemen, and you know, and you haven't had your house blown apart by the Saudis, and oh dear, and so in the end, Sunday night, you're paralysed with shock and fear of what's going on in a part of the world that you wouldn't even know where it was on the map. You know? And that's why I think so many of us we just worry and worry and worry, because we're getting bombarded with stuff to worry about, and it's not even our worry, is it? I mean, of course, from a humanitarian point of view, it's shocking, but I honestly don't think, and I might get drawn and quartered for this one, but I don't think that we're all wired to have all this news laid at our table every single day. Right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Delft, the darker blue, and I'm going to add a little bit along the bases now. We're going to get some shadows, some shade going. Yeah. And the thing about a lot of us, I can only speak for myself, we take on the cares of the world, you know, don't we? So by the time you've listened to the news and you found out that, you know, Linda Williams is in lockdown, and Wales, and then all the universities, and then all the students, and then Brighton, and and then you think, well, and then suddenly you shoot across to California and that's on fire, and then you go to Yemen and they've been blown up and it's a war crime, and you just think, good grief. Then somebody gets shot in Croydon up the road. And so I've taken on all that news. That's just a 24-hour period, that little lot. That was what was on the news yesterday when I watched once. I didn't even watch much. But I mean, blimey, people. That's a lot to take in for a 61-year-old English woman who can't do much about anything. And it's not like I've got power that I could help anybody, or, you know, there's nothing I can do about any of it except get upset for people. I don't know. And so we say, well, I'm not going to watch the news, and then you feel, well, you should really at least know what's going on. I've always said, well, if it's that bad, my dad will tell me, and he does. You feel you ought to at least be informed, don't you? Hey? How's your shadowing going? Yeah? There, in we go. Like that. Then break it, hatchet, hatchet, hatchet. In we go, along that line. Hatchet, hatchet, hatchet. Yeah. So what do you do, eh? Well, I think what I have to do is just be very mindful of how much I give my head to process, you know. Be very mindful of how much I let in. Does that make sense? because it just makes you worry, doesn't it? Needlessly, well, not needlessly, uselessly. It doesn't serve a purpose, does it? Right, sharpen that little fella. Okay. Right, we ready? And off we go again. And now we're going to get the darker dots, but we won't go up so high on the dark ones. Just go up into the... So we get all the lavender sorted first, the lavender beds. Hey, get the lavender beds in. Nice, eh? Just a little bit of speckling. Yeah. Just along that edge there. The thing about this is you could titivate this for hours, couldn't you? Okay. Do you listen to Audible books? See, I find that helps a lot. That's a switch off, isn't it? When I'm listening to books, when I read a book, like that, read it on the page, at the moment, I can't focus. And I find I'm reading and then I end up, I'm not actually taking in anything that I'm reading because my head's gone off with the fairies again. But when I'm listening to an Audible book, this is interesting. I find it holds my attention much better. So whether I'm auditory, which means that I'm sort of wired better for the ears, you know, I mean, we're all wired differently, aren't we? And maybe I'm a bit more auditory, rather, you know, like people are visual, people olfactory, more smell, they smell more, you know, everybody has different sharpness of senses, don't they? And maybe my hearing sense is, it seems to override. So when I'm listening, it's funny, I can't, yeah, like, I can only do that then. And it takes me away. The Audible book will take me away, takes me away from the situation. So that's something to consider. Right, that'll do for the purple now. And now we want to get into these paths. So go back to that straw yellow, yeah? And let's get that path in. Right, here we go. This is easy. Path in. Path in. Yeah, so, you know, Audible is something to think about. If you've never listened to books, I think a lot of us do, but I think that it may really help you sort of focus on something else, you know. Like even when you're colouring, your mind can wander, can't it? Does yours? Depends, doesn't it? But if you're colouring and you've got a book going on at the same time, your mind is not going anywhere because you'll be colouring and listening to a beautiful story. Yeah? See, that's time well spent, hey? See, even if you're listening to music, your mind can wander. For me, it can. My mind can still wander. But if I'm listening to a story, then it holds me, it arrests me, it keeps me. And I think what we've got to figure out during these weird, unprecedented times, I'm going back to my favourite now, toning it down, toning down, toning down. Warm grey. During these strange times, you've got to find something that completely arrests your attention, like steals you away from what's going on. See, so what I'm doing here is I'm adding that dark, that warm grey underneath where the bed is, on the top part here. See? Just along there, just darkening that edge there. Yeah? Just along there. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's have a look at this one. and then you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Let it just focus for a minute. Let it focus. Right, so you see how, if we look at here, right, there you go, we're nearly there now. So you can see that what we've done is, we've added the depth, haven't we, in the fields, in the actual beds, the lavender beds, and now we're going into the paths. So we've added that undercoat of yellow again, and now we're going to concentrate. You see the edge we're concentrating on is the same edge, this dark edge here. It's the one underneath there. That's where we're going to get the shadow. See? It's this one here. Yeah. So let's give that a go. Won't take long. Colours are up to you really, which colours you use. But I like this warm grey because it just sort of, it gives it a lovely sort of mellow vintage look. That's what it does for me. That's it. So I've done that one. Now, do you remember the green from the mallard drake's head? That green. This one is pine green. So whatever you used for the drake's head. I hope I haven't pressed too hard. Let's have a look. No. That'll do. So now we're going to go in with that green. It's the tones, isn't it? Look, isn't that lovely? There you go. So we'll just get that green going along that edge there. Right. Over the, where you went with the light, with that warm grey. Now tuck in there and add a bit of green along that edge. Because there's definitely going to be greenery. It's not all lilac, is it? There's going to be some greenery under there. Sure thing. Sure thing, Batman. There we are. So we'll get that colour in. Don't press too hard because we're layering up different colours here, aren't we? So just put that green in over the top, look. See how it's creating a lovely drop? Just a lovely shadow in there, isn't it? Nice. See, and if you think it's a little bit too green, because I do, then you take that dark, that mellow grey, and you just put a whisper of that over the top. It just tones it down. And you know the other thing is our where's that? Our blending pens. See, in a minute, when we've got all the layers down, then we'll just bring them all together. That makes such a difference. Yeah. Right, so where am I now then? Right, so we're nearly there, look. You see how this is just dirtier. Obviously, a well-trodden path. This one, they haven't been up and down there as much. So all we're going to do is, look, you can just flick. See how quickly you can add a little bit of depth. Look, just add a bit of that warm grey. It's exactly what we did up here. That's why we did it, just so that it's familiarity now. You know exactly the look that you're going to get. If you go over that yellow path with a little bit of that grey, it tones it down just nicely. So it's not quite so in your face. There, you see? Look. Yeah. What's your favourite colour what's your favourite colour? And what's your favourite colour in your colouring tins? What is the colour that you tend to go to most? Which one is it for you? I tend to go for that warm grey more than anything else. That's nice. Yeah. I only have to look at my tin and I see, when I look at my tin, the pencils, it's funny because you think, oh, these lovely colours, right? But look, you can see exactly which ones I use. Look, they're gone because they're all in the using box. See, all the greys and browns and all the boring section. Isn't that funny? But they're the ones that create the depth, really. So I don't know about, I mean, like I said, there are no experts in this building, but I tend to go, look how short this one's getting now. Warm grey number 4. See, so now I can go in again and I'll tone it down. Now, So we go in there again, and you just take that chisel edge and you run it along so that the tip hits that lavender. See? And as you do that, here we are, it gets darker and darker. Do you see? Because the lavender is hanging over. Look, see that one there? Then we go in there with this on the yellow and we just run it through to there, like that. And then you just keep digging in underneath the lavender, like that. And you dig in with the tip. See? And it gives it that really brilliant... I'm pressing quite hard actually. See how it makes it, doesn't it? Make it look like it's suddenly got a dimension. Look, so you go in there, and if you feel like I can feel that I'm barely, there's hardly any colour coming there now because I've pressed too hard on the yellow. I've created that seal that I'm always bleating on about, but it's still coming. Look, I just have to go a bit more and a bit more. And if it's not coming, then I just take an eraser, right, and just come in here and take out a little bit again, just rough up. I need a bit of purchase for the pencils to take, a little bit of tread, and then it will go again, see? There you go, look, doesn't that look good? Right, so you can see how you make your paths in between the lavender beds. And now you know, yeah, that when you look at a field and you see the tram lines, they're for the wheels. But when you look at the lavender fields, you've got paths. Because they're crops, and there'll be crops where you need a path, you know, to go down. Because they need a path because they're going to go down and they're going to water it. And I love it. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful colours? And the colours that we've used are pretty much the same colours as we used in the top area too. And then you can go in and you can add a little bit more shadow under the trees. Look, straight away it goes for the warm grey again. Yeah, a bit of shadow under the trees. I'm happy with that. What do you feel? Do you like that one? I'll post it on Clarity Worldwide, and I hope that you do too. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of our duck session, our drakes. I think we'll leave it there. I reckon we've done really well. We're certainly getting to grips, aren't we? We had a laugh. We learnt loads through Sonia as well about taking the duck to the front, you know, so that it changed it from a Boeing 747. Interesting to know how to do that then, isn't it? We've learnt how to get those beds so they look round, because they really do, don't they? Look, they really do look as if they're folded over. Maybe a little bit more lilac on the top, so that's nice. So I'll leave you with that, and on Wednesday when we get together at 10 o'clock again, we're going to start something completely new which you will really enjoy, I hope. Make sure that Lucy helps you with getting this. This would be good, all right? Yeah, this would be a good one. So I did write down what you need for Wednesday, just so that you can get ahead. You need tracing paper, right? Lucy will, if you order it today, we'll make sure, if you haven't got any, we'll make sure it's there. I'll drag them to the front, those orders, and we'll get them out today. Tracing paper you need pencils. So pencils, all you need is an HB pencil. If you haven't got an HB pencil, we've got the tins of Faber-Castell pencils. They're worth having. What else do you need? You need the Micron pens down the road. Oh, here are the pencils. These are brilliant for drawing. If you want to take it seriously and you want to really go for it, then, you know, there comes a point where you say, I think I can afford a tin of pencils. And these are the Micron pens, the really fine black pens. So when we go into our doodling session, you're going to need the tracing paper, the pencils, a rubber, an eraser pencil. Yeah, not much. Most of you have already got it. That's all. And then a smile. All right. So on Wednesday at 10 o'clock, we'll all get together and get this from Lucy, either as a download or we'll get it in the post to you today. And that's good as well because we've got a day to get it sorted and get it out to you. That'll be fine. So I thank you for your company. Keep smiling. It'll be fine. Thanks, Lucy, for your help too. And I shall see you on Wednesday at 10 o'clock in the morning. Lots of love. Bye-bye now.